In this video, we're going to find out if Call of Duty Trickshotting is dead and why. Watch the full video for context and explanation.
Oh my god, yeah.
Why are older Call of Duties better? And why are newer CODs not good for trickshotting and sniping? Let's just structure this video a little bit. The four main questions are going to be: is it even actually dead? Are FaZe a major part of this? Other factors? And are the older CODs better? For all these questions, we're going to have to go back in time just a little bit. Let's go back to 2011 when all this started. We can probably all agree Modern Warfare 2 and FaZe Clan were the things that all got us into trickshotting back in the day. But why did we even start trickshotting? What was so fun about it to get us involved in the first place? And what is the difference now? Why does nobody want to do it anymore? Why is it dead and going extinct? The dopamine you just got off that 4-second clip is probably more dopamine than you've had in years just playing any other game. And that kind of just proves that there must be something different about these games which is so much better. Or again, other factors. I promise, I really am trying to get to the point. So the reasons are, it was a lot more exciting, it was more fun like back in the day. You got to join clans and all these things, the competition with your friends was crazy, and it was new. Now we all know when Modern Warfare 2 came out, watching FaZe, it was so exciting going for the same shots that we're going for, even trying to copy and recreate anything. The fact that FaZe even brought out something called clans and nobody even knew what a clan was until this period of time just made it so exciting and new, which is part of what I meant. And not only that, but the competition in-game when you and your friends are going for trick shots, you just trying to out-trick shot your friend and just try and go for a better shot in general. It's like when you first learned how to do a catwalk or a tack knife flip or even a knack or something crazy like that, and it was the first person to hit the shot that you're all going for that made it so exciting. The sounds, the effects, the layout, just how the game is presented as a whole was absolutely perfect for what every trickshot I ever wanted. And FaZe Clan are the pioneers that made trickshotting so big as it is now. Now that we've cleared up all the reasons why it was so good, what has actually changed? I think how genuine and innocent everybody was played a factor in the beginning, but it did start to change over the years. Between the years of 2011 and 2013, things really started to change for the worst, and I would say this really was implemented in 2012. 2012 was the year of the setups. And setting up basically affected the standards of the clips to the point where nobody actually believed clips were unset up. You'd ask the enemy to run around and make it look like it was believable to try and make it look like an unset up clip, when in actual fact this was just damaging the game by lying to the rest of the community what you were doing. This was one of the downfalls of the Call of Duty community. People would be grinding all day every day to try and hit a shot, and you would just hit it in like a couple days potentially because you're setting up and you're going for unlimited tries. And as we all know, hitting on a setup is so much easier than hitting legit on somebody that is actually trying to kill you. And when I say legit, for the context of this video, let's put it in perspective. What I mean is, the enemy player is trying to actually kill you. They're not standing still, and their intention is to actually play the game for what it is, which is search and destroy. They're not just stood there like a sitting duck waiting for you to spin around 500 times. So what between 2011 and 2013 seriously affected how fun and how good trickshotting was in general? Well, there was numerous things. So the toxicity in the community, setting up, which we've just spoke about, people hating on your clips for no reason. Standards of shots were going through the roof by 2013. I'm pretty sure at this point Black Ops 2 had come out, so it wasn't the newest Call of Duty. So how do all these link together? It's really important we get a timeline so we know when everything actually happened and started. The other factors being everything that we've just spoke about which contributed to the timeline. And then FaZe are relevant in general just because they're the ones why people started trickshotting in the first place. Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Now this changed quite a lot within the community. I feel like when Black Ops 2 came out, Modern Warfare 2 just wasn't seen as highly regarded anymore. Fair enough, it was still very early on for Modern Warfare 2, not every single shot had been hit, but because about 75% of the Call of Duty community moved into Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 2 just wasn't as appreciated enough, so if you were hitting insane shots, people just didn't really care. And that's what I mean when I say new Call of Duty's coming out, it just ruined the standards for the previous Call of Duty, which made people reluctant to actually play the old CODs anymore. They could hit something crazy, but just wasn't appreciated enough really. So let's just say, going off the trend that I've set, from Call of Duty Black Ops Ghosts, to Advanced Warfare in 2014, bearing in mind personally I didn't think Ghost was an amazing Call of Duty to trick shot on, and then all the way to iconic Black Ops 3 in 2015, which was an absolutely amazing Call of Duty. Everything including what I've just said about setting up and fake clips, which I haven't really touched on to be honest, but fake clips, you know, it's kind of obvious as a lobby's using explosive bullets, EB, completely ruined the game, especially Call of Duties like Modern Warfare 2. Black Ops 2 started being able to fake clips and use EB around this time as well. However, something did change in 2015 when Black Ops 3 came out, something quite big which sparked the community's interest and kind of blew up with trickshotting in general. So regarding FaZe were falling off just a tiny little bit in the sense that they weren't very good at the new Call of Duties, people were getting a lot better at it, they'd caught up to FaZe. FaZe didn't exactly step away from Call of Duty at this point, this wasn't the turning point for FaZe, but they did do something great for the community. This was the last thing that FaZe did which was good for the community before they absolutely killed it, which we'll get into a little bit soon. Call of Duty Black Ops 3 came out and it was a brilliant game, you know, you could jump, you could boost in the air, you could wall run and go for wall run trick shots. It was such a great Call of Duty and people didn't know how to fake clips, so everything was authentic on it. Yet again, people started setting up on it extremely early on because they wanted to join bigger teams. And this is when FaZe pulled something out the bag to try and get them back in the Call of Duty scene, and they introduced Red Reserve. Most of you remember this, but Scarce basically got appointed with Formula as owners of Red Reserve, which everybody obviously wanted to join FaZe, as we've said previously in the video. And FaZe made this a gateway to FaZe Clan by making Red Militia, which was FaZe B team. So basically, if you were able to join Red, you would one day eventually probably join FaZe. Not everything that I say is relevant for snipers about the faking clips and stuff, however the standards thing in general and the old Call of Duties all applies to snipers, so if you're a sniper watching this and you feel like I've neglected that a little bit, I do apologise, I'm just not as experienced with the sniping side of everything. Also, if you're new to my channel and you do enjoy this video, please consider subscribing. It's completely free and it takes 2 seconds and it helps me out a lot. And if you could drop a like and comment what you think of the video so far, that would be great. It'll really help me with the YouTube algorithm. Anyway, let's get back to the video. As good as Black Ops 3 was and as long as it lasted, all soon came to an end when FaZe decided to properly part ways with the Call of Duty trickshotting community. Now, they didn't properly express this with words, however, they were making the move with Fortnite and doing all those sorts of different games. Be it as it may, I don't have all the facts regarding this area. All I know is FaZe was sort of disembarking from trickshotting and sniping at this point. One of the ways they actually did this was de-affiliating with Red Reserve, so obviously I believe it was Red Militia, and I think they changed it to Red Reserve once they actually unaffiliated with FaZe. FaZe cut all ties with Red Militia at this point in time, but the community did stand by Red, and long story short, Red were now the pinnacle of the Call of Duty community for trickshotting and sniping. FaZe had gone from a potential team that people thought one day they could join to not even knowing if they were recruiting these types of players anymore. Red Reserve now had the Red House. They still showed us it was possible to make trickshotting and sniping a job for Call of Duty, which is what most people wanted after watching FaZe Clan. And I forgot to say at some point during this, Infinite Warfare came out, and then after that, a spring of bad Call of Duties. In my opinion, not great Call of Duties, but that's debatable. But the fact is, Call of Duties that were being made were getting worse and worse. People were running back to old gen Call of Duties like Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 3. This is when faking clips and setting up and all these sorts of things just became completely reasonable. On top of that, the fact that old gen Call of Duties weren't even playable because hackers infiltrated the lobbies so you weren't even able to play. And this was pretty much the breaking point for the Call of Duty community. So I think the question now is Call of Duty trickshotting and sniping dead? This is the hard truth some people do need to realise. FaZe is gone, they don't want anything to do with trickshotting, and there is no prominent goal for the community anymore. The lobbies are ruined and unplayable, as well as them dying out, there isn't enough people to sustain lobbies anymore. You physically can barely even tell now if people are faking clips.
This is just so stupid.
And just to touch on the setting up thing, guys, I want to draw some attention to people doing 2-boxing and even filling the lobby with the 2 boxes just to get to last quicker. I know 2-boxing doesn't seem too bad, and it makes the game a lot easier, but that takes a away from the trick shots that you're hitting. It's not as much of a challenge. You literally know the location of the enemy all the time. It's like having UAV hack. It is sort of like modding. It doesn't have the same desired effect as it does being in a party chat in 2011 and 2012 with friends looking for the enemy, not having a clue where anybody is. Now, when I say all of this, I'm not having a go at people for faking clips and for setting up and for using 2 boxes. I understand, because I have done all of these things before myself. The reason 2011 was so good was because everything was authentic, everything was genuine, unset up, fun, new. Everything was legit and vanilla, which is what we need to get back to, vanilla Call of Duty. The older Call of Duties were much better.
No way! I tagged! No way!
Where was he? Oh my god!
So trickshotting isn't completely dead. There are people there that do want to still do it. How do we get ourselves back into that state that we were in 2012 when everything was so fun and genuine? And the hard truth is we can't, but the things that we can do are this. All Call of Duty trickshotting teams go back to the way that we were in 2012, which is legit clips only. If people fake clips, do what we used to do back in 2012 and completely cancel them for faking clips. Leave the dark side people doing their sort of stuff. I completely understand they're probably bored of vanilla, and I do understand that. However, mixing the two never ended well. Stop mixing teams that play vanilla COD with dark side Call of Duty. Go back to absolutely no setting up, no fast last, completely genuine, legit Call of Duty. Give the new Call of Duties a try, and if you don't really like them, don't downplay the old gen Call of Duties. Go back to them and play them, but play them legit and unset up as the game was meant to be played. As long as they're unset up, then we can make Call of Duty what it used to be. Maybe not to the same scale, but at least better than it is now. I think people need to take a step back a little bit. They've not gone for the joy of trickshotting, but instead what they can gain from it and what organisation they can join and how many likes they can get on a Twitter post. But stop trying to be the best at the game and just enjoy it and play the game for what it is. I would say FaZe are 50% of why Call of Duty trickshotting is dead. And the same with the Red House and what they did with the investors. That was just a blow to the face when you're on the floor for the rest of the community that Red was not even a thing anymore either.
Yep, Sprat and I were actually wondering if you were one of the people who wanted to join FaZe.
Do me a favor, check him out. His name is Red Death. He has been on the 30-day upload streak.
I'm not really playing COD, I haven't played COD in months. I would say 30% of it is our own selfish fault for faking clips. We haven't helped ourselves whatsoever. And the other 20% is just the new Call of Duties aren't great, are they? I really do hope you guys enjoyed this. I did spend a lot of time editing this. This is probably the best video I've produced on my channel, and I actually really did enjoy doing this. I am going to be trickshotting on the new Call of Duty and giving it a go. Drop a like, subscribe please if you haven't subscribed already. Please go in the comments and let me know what you actually thought of the video, because I'm actually quite curious to what points you thought what brought trickshotting to its knees. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.